So, as you can see, I'm starting out with my e.l.f. brow pencil. This is in the shade Neutral Brown. So the first thing I do is make a line on the bottom of my brow to get the shape started. And then I do the same with the top. And then I just connect them at the tail. So once they're connected, I'm going to start filling it in, starting at the tail of my brow. And then I start going more towards the inner corner of my brow. Now with this I am doing pretty heavy strokes just because this is a cheaper brow pencil. It's still good, you just need heavier strokes if you want darker brows, obviously. So once I get to the inner corner, I just make a line there to sharpen it up and make it really defined where I want the brow to stop. So you can see me doing that. So the next thing I'm doing is my eyeshadow. I'm taking my Jaclyn Hill palette, which I am obviously very excited about. And then I'm taking my, it's kind of fluffy, but it's just a blending eyeshadow brush. It's by the brand Royal and Lane Nickel, I believe. Just looks like that, yeah. So I'm going to start off with Silk Cream and MFEO. And I'm going to put that in the transition area to just start off my crease. So next I'm taking the shade Creamsicle and I'm putting that pretty much in the same exact place where I put the first two shades. This is just going to warm up the crease and transition area. And I'm looking at all of the kick up flying around my room. But anyways, yeah, this is just going to make it really orangey and warm in that transition area. As you can tell, I'm just kind of sloppily putting these in there. No rhyme or reason, just making sure it's blended. And then I'm taking the shade Pukey and I'm putting that right in the crease. So below where we put the first three shades, I'm putting that almost on my eyelid, but not quite on the eyelid. This is a very warm shade. So now I'm switching my brush. I believe this is by e.l.f., but it's just a more flat defined brush. And I believe this is the shade called Mocha. But I'm going to put that right, like, basically as low in the crease as I can get it without going on my actual eyelid. That's where I'm going to put this shade. And as you can see, I'm just blending it out with the other 2, 3, 4 shades at this point. So now I'm taking the shade, I think this is Central Park. I could be wrong, but I believe this is the shade Central Park. And I'm putting that on the very outer corner of my eye, on the lid, This is going to really deepen up the eye look and make it a little more smoky, but still wearable in my opinion. Then I'm just taking that same brush that we started with and blending everything together and making sure there's no harsh lines. So now I'm taking the Morphe 25B palette, and I'm taking this orangey, it's like an orangey reddish maroon shade, and I'm taking that on a, I believe this is by e.l.f. as well, but it's like just a flat stiff brush, and I'm packing that all over the lid because I feel like oh, I have something in my eye apparently. Okay, that's really attractive. Anyways, I feel like shades like this really make my blue eyes pop, and I just haven't been really loving a whole shimmer across the lid lately. I just have been kind of feeling the all matte eye, so I'm doing that now. And then I also am making sure that's blended, obviously. And having that darker brown shade underneath the shade just really helps make it, or it really helps show the depth in the eye look. So right here, my neighbor was like screaming and running across the street, so I was just a little bit confused. Moving on. Very indecisive. So now I'm going in with my Wet n Wild Photofocus Foundation in the shade Rose Ivory. And I just start by putting this on my cheeks, and then blending it out, and then going everywhere else on my face. So, as you can see, my foundation is done, and I'm going in with the Fit Me powder. I'm not sure the shade of this, but I'm just taking that on a big fluffy powder brush and going over my whole face with it. I do use a bit of an excessive amount of this powder, but that's just because the Photofocus foundation is a pretty sticky foundation. It doesn't dry down or anything, so you need the powder to set it, or else it'll be like very sticky and wiping off everywhere every time you touch your face. So now I'm taking my bronzer, which is like pretty much completely gone, but this is by Wet n Wild as well, and I believe it's in the shade Dulce de Leche. Yeah. So I'm just taking a fluffy fan brush for this. I feel like using this brush helps me contour a little as well as bronze. So yeah, I'm just putting that in the hollows of my cheeks and then on my forehead, just to really warm up the face, because that foundation does kind of make me look like a ghost. I'm just taking that a little bit on the nose, but we will go in and actually contour right after this. So now I'm taking, this is actually a face powder. I believe it's in the shade Coconut, but it's just like a deep face powder that I use to contour. And I believe this is a Luxie brush. I'm not sure the number, but I'm just using this to contour. I only contour right at like the base of my cheeks, so right by the ear, and then a little bit on my nose and my jawline. So now I'm going in with blush, and I'm using the Jaclyn Hill and Becca blush palette. And I'm taking the middle shade, I believe it's called Amaretto, I could be completely wrong. But I'm taking a Luxie blush brush, and I'm just obviously putting that where blush normally goes. So now I'm taking my highlighter. This is in the shade Moonlight Pearls by e.l.f. It's their baked highlighter, and I think it's fantastic. This highlighting brush, it came in my Ipsy bag. I have no clue what it's called. All I know is it is perfect for highlighting. You can see all the kick up it's creating in my room. It looks like dust, but it's actually from the highlighter. So now I'm taking that blush brush again and just blending it all together and making sure there's not like a line of highlight and then a line of blush, because that's not cute. So now I'm going back in with the Morphe palette, and I'm taking that flat brush we used and the same shadow we used all over the lid, and just taking that, oh, that's cute face. Taking that all on the underneath of my eye, the bottom lash line, what? Taking that on the bottom lash line and blending it out, and then I am grabbing a small fluffy brush. It's like super, super tiny. And I'm taking this orangey shade and blending out underneath that purpley shade, just so we have no harsh lines on the bottom lash line. So now I'm taking a pencil liner and just tight lining and waterlining. Lining my tight line and waterline. This is the Wet n Wild kohl pencil, and I poked myself in the eye. Anyways, I'm just doing that on both my eyes. This brow pencil, this eyeliner is literally like 98 cents at Walmart, and it's great, and you get so much. Like, you can see it's super long, and it's actually a really great pencil for how cheap it is. So now I'm doing my eyelashes. This is an e.l.f. eyelash curler. I'm pretty sure it's like $2 or $3, but it's actually pretty great. And then I'm taking the L'Oreal Carbon Black Mascara, and I'm just going over my eyelashes and making sure they're separated. That's like my number one thing that I do when I am putting mascara on, is making sure my eyelashes are black and separated. And I got mascara on my eyelid, because why would I not? When I'm doing my mascara, I like to make sure I start right at the root of my eyes. Or the root of my eyes. Yes, the root of my eyelashes, to make sure I'm getting the full length that my eyelashes can be, because I don't have the thickest eyelashes, so I go for length and separation rather than thickness and how volumized they are. So as you can see, I got it on my eye, and when that happens to me, I get angry apparently. I just wait for it to dry. If I've already done eyeshadow, I just wait for it to dry, and then as you can see, I just take my blending brush and just blend it away, because it literally will just fall off. So now I'm taking this flat brush. I don't know where I got it from actually, but I'm going back in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm taking Beam and in Light, I believe, and I'm using that as my brow bone highlight. And then I'm going in and blending out that line of highlight. And then I take the shades Obsessed, I believe, and Beam, and I put that as my inner corner highlight. Obsessed, I think that's what it's called, but that is one of my favorite shades in this palette. And apparently my nose needed a little more highlight. So now I'm taking this lip liner. I'm not sure who it's by, but I know it's in the shade Brown Sugar. And I'm lining my lips and then completely filling them in. I do have pretty small lips, so I like to overline just a bit on the upper lip just to make them look a little fuller so it matches my bottom lip. And then I'm taking the liquid lipstick by Kat Von D in the shade Lolita, and I'm going right over top of that. Using the Brown Sugar lip liner underneath gives that a more mauve-y look instead of a brown, so that's why I completely fill in my lip with the lip liner. So now I'm just going to set my face with my Wet n Wild Photofocus setting spray. And after that, this look is complete. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please stay tuned for more videos. Like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one.